with her mission. So, there she is.
Thank you.
Do you want to say? Ever. So here she is. Welcome, Holli. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Wow. And, you know, I just want to talk with you for hours, but I'm definitely going to share you with everyone, because I know I cannot get you forever. But tell me, what is the the biggest insight that you had from making this movie?
That's a big question.
Start with the big questions, right?
We love big questions here. Okay, wow, this is just amazing. I have to say, you did such a beautiful job with this event, ladies, and I'm just honored to be here, and honored to be here with you all. Overall, I would say the thing that I've learned the most from making this movie, I never thought I'd be a filmmaker. I never thought I'd be traveling to different countries outside of the US to speak with people and have them see the film. But after all of this experience, I think the #1 thing that I've really taken to heart is that we all have a story to share. Every single person in this room has a very important, valid story that is worth telling, that if you share with someone else, you have no idea the amount of impact you could possibly have on their lives. You know, I would never see myself sitting in front of a room of all of you, or sometimes a room of thousands of people, sharing after them seeing the film and being so excited. And all I can say is just that your dreams are only as big as you allow them to be. So shoot for the stars, you know?
Yeah. Definitely, definitely. Well, thank you. And how did you get the idea to do this?
So I was inspired to make this film. As you kind of see, I was in art school, had kind of always pursued the arts from a young age, but when I was about 13, 14 was when I really started to look at magazines and movies and television and things around me and say, you know what, why are we only seeing the same types of women represented? Why don't you hear the amazing stories of all these diverse women that are of different ages, of different colors, of different sizes, of different professions, you know, these multifaceted women that exist all around the world. We rarely hear those stories. And so this was in 2011 that I kind of had this epiphany moment of like, you know, all these huge productions, growing up in Los Angeles and Hollywood, seeing all these studios with millions of dollars to tell these women's stories and not doing it ever. And it's like, why? Because women aren't behind the camera, they're not getting jobs as directors, producers, all these roles that are really creating the lens in which we see ourselves through. So yeah, it was like a calling is the only way I can describe it, of just this feeling of like, okay, I don't know how to make a movie, I don't know how to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars that it takes to make a movie, but I know that I have this drive inside of me, and I know that the women around me also want to see themselves reflected on the big screen.
And you arranged it?
Yes.
So, now you know, that's a really big manifestation.
Yes.
How did you manifest that, you know, knowing that you're coming from your mission, it's coming from your heart, but what can you tell these ladies about how you manifest something that is this big as a movie like this?
I don't know. It's what I was just telling a woman I was speaking to outside is like, when you have a vision of something you want to do, you know, maybe it's not a movie, maybe it's just being a mom or starting a business or whatever you have in your vision for yourself of what your dream is. If you just keep your eye on that vision and just take little steps every single day to get a little bit closer, then all of a sudden, and I swear I have chills, all of a sudden you're in a movie theater surrounded by balloons with beautiful people, and you're like, wow, my dream came true. Because for me personally, the moment exactly, the moment that I said yes to doing this, which meant at the time not having any money, not having a bus, not having all the things that were manifested in this film and what you see, but the moment that I just said yes, I'm going to do this, we're going to make this movie no matter what, things started happening. Not the balloon, but just miraculous things that were almost seemed like a gift from God, from the goddess, to keep saying, yes, you should follow this. You should follow this insight, this vision, this sort of tap from the muses that you're getting on your back that said, let's make this movie. And so I just kind of welcome all of you to pay attention to what those little voices or those little kind of tips from the universe, you never know who you can meet in this room right now who could help you further your dream. And every single day is an opportunity to share what you're passionate about, your own story, to impact people and to help you get even further to reaching the dream that you have.
I love the part that you said, the little steps.
Very little steps, the tiniest steps, where like I felt like I was climbing a mountain making this film. And I'm like, when am I gonna get the top of the mountain? Because we really thought this was gonna take 2 years, and it ended up taking almost 5 years to make this film. 5 years of every single day doing, everything to make this happen. It was very difficult. Many crying moments where I just wanted to give up, but every time I wanted to give up, I'm sure you've all been this, in pursuing your dream, you have this sort of something that comes along that says, no, keep going, keep going. So pay attention to those signs, because if I didn't, I would have given up and I wouldn't be here today.
Because you really went through with this, huh? You really went through. And how was it to live for all those years, for all the time in a van? Because, you're a superstar now, but you were living in a van. How was it, just practically?
Oh, wow. It was difficult. Like, it gets pretty hot here. I was just here about 5-6 months ago in the summer here, and it's pretty warm, but in the States, in some of the desert cities, it is hot. And this bus, you don't really see too much of it, but it had no amenities. We had no bathroom, no shower, nothing, not even a stove or a refrigerator. So it was very challenging because we were learning how to make a movie while basically almost being homeless. Not homeless because we had a van, but it didn't have what an RV has, no amenities like that. So it really tested us. It said, the universe kept saying, are you sure you want to do this? In the hot, sweaty sun, on a very small budget, do you want to do it? And we just kept saying yes and yes, and
so
somehow we made it. We were tested.
You were tested. And before I want to, get to your questions, because I'm sure you're going to have a lot of questions, but what I want to know, there are two things. First of all, I love the graphics. I love the creative part. How did you arrange that? What did you do to get it so creative?
Well, that from the very beginning, we kind of raised money for this film in stages. We didn't have any money when we started this project, and as you know, it can take hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars to make a movie. So we did a lot of crowdfunding, which is basically online. You can share your vision and message for a project, and other people come out to support it. So once we started putting the word out there, people from all around the world donated money, services, sponsored us with goods to come out, and so we ended up raising enough money. From the very beginning, our goal was to want to hire artists, because we really wanted to have a global perspective in this film, and in the beginning, we wanted to travel around the world and interview women everywhere, but obviously we didn't have the money to do that, so we really kind of roughed it and bared it is the term we use, rough and bear it, to be living in this bus, which was donated to us by this amazing man that you see in the film, and we just kind of figured it out as we go, and it was difficult to live that way, and with the animation and all the artists, they were from around the world. So once we were able to raise a good amount of money to make the film, we were able to not only use the interviews from the women that lived in the US, but also bring in artists, female artists from around the world, from 15 different countries, to infuse their perspectives into helping share these stories. And for me, the animation is really what sets this film apart, because I know we all grow up watching animation, and some of us watch animation as adults, but it really kind of pulls on that childhood wonder and just kind of brings you back to a lot of these experiences that women face in a way that, reenactments or other things that you kind of see in documentaries don't do. So yeah, it was just amazing to have this global perspective of women infusing their creativity into this project to make it, I kind of describe it as a quilt. You know, if you just picture all these women's stories and beautiful talents, like intertwined and woven together into a quilt, that's how I see this film.
I love that, the way you say it.
Thank you.
You know, and we're talking about women, and we love that. However, if we're talking about men, I would like to know your perspective on this, because we were talking already about this. Esther Perel, she's like a psychotherapist. I love her. She has a great vision, and she was on TV, and I was really touched by what she said. Because she said, you know what, men, you know, like 80% of men, you know, violence comes from 80% of men. Then suicidal comes from men. And then she said, you know, 2019 is the year of the man. And what she said is, you know, men really need to define themselves again. And it's going to be celebration, but at the same time it's going to be work in progress. And when men are going to work at themselves, that is the moment that women are going to be, you know, they're going to have it much more easier. So I would love to know your opinion about that one, because we're talking so much about women. This day is about women, but next year we're going to make a bridge to men and their identity, you know. So how do you see that?
Yes, so coming from the United States, there's a huge imbalance. Obviously, you see it historically with women, even the word history, as you see in the film. Women were just cut out of that word. We're cut out of a lot of history because it's been told from a male perspective. And it's really interesting, when I came here 6 months ago and I was talking to women and I was talking to men, actually, we've had more men at screenings in the Netherlands than anywhere else in the world. So that means you women are very lucky to have the kind of men that you have here that are willing to come to see a movie like this, to come with their wives or their girlfriends or their friends or their mothers, and to be open. Because a lot of women and men hear the word The Goddess Project and they say, oh, this is some woo-woo, up in the sky, preachy stuff, and you know, this movie is not about that. This movie is not about any of these women being any superior to any of us, or any of us sitting up here just because we have a microphone to any of you. It's that we all have gifts to offer, and we all are worthy of our story being told. So when men see this film, they think that too. They think, you know what, I'm worthy to share my feelings. I'm worthy to express these emotions that I've been hiding inside because society conditioning has told me that I need to suppress them, that I need to be tough, that I need to be this brawny man. And, you know, there's a time and a place. Obviously, men and women have different biological makeup, and we each have kind of strengths and weaknesses. But this whole movement that's happening right now in the world, I very much agree in this film. This film is for everyone, not for any particular gender. And just seeing so many men in the Netherlands at these screenings has, like, brought amazing joy to my heart. I was telling her the other day that I had men actually just in Eindhoven, close by. We had multiple sold-out screenings where we had to like bring in extra chairs to have people sit in because there were so many people that wanted to see the film. And I had men coming up to me afterwards just crying, like literally crying and saying, I feel safe to express myself for the first time in my life. And just to hear that,
that's amazing.
It blew my mind.
That's the new man. The new man is born. Yeah, definitely. So before I go to your questions, what's your next project going to be? I'm going to walk to the stage. I'm going to walk to that side because I want to know that question. What's your next project?
Gosh, it's hard to say. I have a lot of ideas in the works right now, and it's just a matter of choosing which one I'm going to fully commit to take the leap, because as you see with this, it took 5 years of my life, so it's a big commitment, you know, to dive into a project. But I have one that's like on the very brink of being kind of my next endeavor.
Tell us, please.
And I can't share it yet. I'm so sorry.
Can you share a little bit?
Yes.
A little bit.
Okay, so what I really noticed with the experience of making this film, everybody feels alone, whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, whether you're young, whether you're old. We all kind of feel like we're the only ones experiencing what we are, even though it's kind of ridiculous because there's millions of people around the world going through the exact same pain and trouble, and we all have trauma and things we have to work through. But what I really noticed is that older generations of women and men who are the wisest, who've been on the planet the longest, are really not seen as valid because people are so obsessed with youth and the young perspective. So for my next project, and I'm not certain if on this, but I really want to explore that. I really want to give a voice to the people who aren't going to be here that much longer, to soak in the wisdom that they've acquired on this earth from being here longer than all of us, and to say, you know, what is it that you want to share? Because I don't think there's enough places giving older generations, our ancestors, the wise older people, a voice, because we're so obsessed with youth culture, especially now with social media and all the platforms. So that's something I'm really passionate about right now.
I love that. Yeah, applause. Thank you, Holli. Because it's really a big problem right now. Exactly. So, ladies, who has a question for Holli or wants to share their insights, light bulb moment, anything, you know? What do you want to share? Use your voice. Who has a question?
Yes.
Stand up.
Well, it's about what you are saying about his story, and that I love bridges. The bridge is what is and what can become, and I'm thinking about his story. It's leading the way, the path, her story. And this is something very important, I think, to recognize for every woman here in this beautiful place on earth, to recognize her story and her inner story, what you also say, expressing that story and expressing to come out, because everyone needs it. So, thank you.
Absolutely, thank you for sharing. It's so important. You know, this is the first time in herstory, that we've really had access to these tools, to our cell phones, to all of these things where we're able to share our own stories. This is why things are shifting, because women are finally able to share their own stories. So I beg of you, if you love this movie, the only reason why you're all sitting here in this theater is because someone shared the trailer for this film with Malika, and therefore she was inspired to host a screening. And we've had over 300 screenings around the world now, and they only happen, you know, most films you see in Hollywood, they have big marketing budgets, they put millions of dollars into sharing films and, you know, making big billboards and ads for you on Facebook, and this is truly a grassroots project. So if you believe in this film or you believe in these messages, I have cards and books and DVDs, but the cards are free and you can take them and find them, and please share it with your mom or your sister or your husband or your boyfriend or anyone, because sharing stories of other women, from ourselves, from each other, this is how we're going to change the world, and it's the only way. It starts with us.
Thank you. There's another lady who wants to ask you something or share something. Kirsten.
Holli.
Yes.
Yes, I just had an idea. How about you come and film here in the Netherlands? Because I think that today you have reached so many hearts of so many women who share your thing you want to share, who share your mission, yes? And as you told us, in the Netherlands we are fortunate because our men support us. So why don't you come and film your next project and start in the Netherlands? We will welcome you with open arms.
And you can sleep in our
I
house.
offer my help, Holli, I offer my help to you because I believe in you and I believe in your goal I will help you any way I can. And I think there are more people, more women, and even men who feel the same way I do.
Thank you.
Please consider.
I would love to. I love it here so much, and I have to share that. I was just telling someone outside, but you know, I come from Los Angeles. I was born and raised there, and Hollywood, you know, this perception of California that they sort of feed to the rest of the world, and it's a beautiful place, and I'm so grateful to have grown up there. But I just want to say that what you guys have here is so special, beyond just the men supporting you. I'm sure that's not the case for all men, you know, just like not all women. You can't just categorize people. Well, what I will say is this just is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. The people, the architecture, the design, I don't know, just the joy and love that I've experienced. I would love to come back. I was actually just trying to plot like how I could live here for a couple of months. And I would love to make more media and art here. And yeah, thank you for opening up that invitation, because I would love to make that happen.
Wow. Yes, thank you. Now, Holli, from this place, I just want to thank you so much that you took the time to come here and share your mission and, you know, inspire all these women. So thank you so much. And we're going to share you, because we're going to have a meet and greet. And, you know, just come to her. You know, ask her the question that you want to ask. Share what you want to share. You know, it's like a full circle thing. So please do. So thank you so much for coming here. She's going to go traveling tomorrow. You're going to go back tomorrow, eh?
Yes, I have to leave for Schiphol.
Schiphol?
Yeah. At 5 a.m.
Yes.
I'm practicing my Dutch. I'm really rusty, but I will work on it one day.
In one word, how was your trip with your mother and your brother to the Netherlands?
Oh, it was so beautiful. I brought my mom and my brother this week because when I came here last time, we had 9 screenings in 10 days, and I was just by myself, and I was traveling and carrying all my bags, and I was like, this time I need somebody to share this experience with, because it was just me saying, the people, the stadiums, the theaters, you have to see them. And so I'm really glad and grateful to both you and Yolanda for bringing me here. It's just
Yolanda,
such
please
a joy.
come here.
Yeah, please come here.
Yolanda, come. Yes.
These ladies, I mean, for 5 months, they've been telling me about this experience they wanted to create for you all, and just visioning and dreaming, and it's just, I'm gonna start crying because I always do. But it's truly beautiful to see 2 people who are so passionate about uplifting other women. And I know so many of you here are passionate about that too. So it's just really amazing to see all of you bringing your gifts together in different ways, and it's beautiful.
She's beautiful too. So let's have a drink and hear who will win the Ibiza prize. So that's also very important. And then we will have Minushu, who's going to sing. So let's celebrate.
Woo! And I will be outside at the table right there. It says the Goddess Project, so please come meet me. I can sign DVDs or books or anything you want to pick up. We have these beautiful goddess pins that I've adorned these ladies with, and join the tribe.
Ladies, this is your chance. Please talk with her, come to her. She's here for you guys. So yes, thank you, ladies.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Holli. Music, please.